Podcast. You are back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm cutting alcohol. So, I received some bad news, which is always fun. It's always good getting bad news. My grandma, I've talked about her before. My grandma is probably my favourite person ever. I love my grandma. She's the best. She's always been the best, and she's a fucking angel in waiting. She has suffered more than anyone I've ever met. She has really fucking suffered, and she doesn't complain at all, really. She's fucking hardcore. She's Polish, and she grew up in a town called Pinsk, where in World War II, the Nazis were coming from one direction, the Russians were coming from the other direction, and they pretty much met up in the middle. But the Russians got to my grandma's town first and swept the whole family away to Siberia, to the gulags, the work camps. So she was 12 when she got taken off to the gulags in Russia. From there, she lost her entire family, her mum, her dad, all her uncles and aunties. Everyone died, either froze to death, were killed. Various ways of dying. The only two who survived were her and her younger sister. Then from Siberia, they got shipped off to Kazakhstan, Iran, where she got malaria. She almost died several times. Tuberculosis. She got all sorts of shit. She was starved half to death. And then through all this, she ended up in an orphanage in New Zealand. And 1950s New Zealand would have been one of the boringest places in the entire world. She was like, I wish I was back in Siberia. Hard time growing up in the orphanage, and then she met my grandpa. Then my grandpa's parents gave her a hard time because she was fucking an immigrant. Fucking immigrants, even though they were Irish cunts. And then she had my dad, my auntie Linda, and my auntie Karen. She spent the next 20-something years slumped over a sewing machine for 12 to 16 hours a day, every day for 20-something years, just to feed the family. Fast forward a little bit further down the road, her husband, my grandpa, was out golfing one day, suffered a major heart attack and died instantly. This is over 20 years ago now. So she's been living by herself in New Zealand, in Auckland, since my grandpa passed away. From there, my auntie Linda, my grandma's second daughter, who was a doctor, the biggest success in our family, to be honest with you. About 8 or 9 years ago, she was having some back pain, ignored it, eventually went to the doctor. They immediately diagnosed her with pancreatic cancer, and she died within like 6 months. I think it was less. I think it was like 3 months. So my grandma had to watch her eldest daughter pass away. But she trucked on. She kept on going. No complaints. Just fucking, you deal with it. It's suffering. She's like, what am I going to do? Complain? No, it hurt. And I just move on. So the last 3 years, she's basically been bedridden because her back is as crooked as a question mark. I remember them saying that because it's the same thing Forrest Gump's mum said to Forrest Gump when she was banging the principal and were talking about his legs or something. I just remember her saying crooked as a question mark. She is in constant fucking pain. She's on the absolute maximum painkillers for OxyContin and maximum painkillers for fentanyl. And a few days ago, they took her into hospital because they wanted to reduce her pain medicine. So in case she OD'd on her pain medicine and died, they wouldn't have a fucking lawsuit to face. So they took her into the hospital and ran a bunch of fucking tests on her, reduced her medicine. And while they were doing the scans, they found out my 89-year-old grandmother has lung cancer. Thanks for that information. That's going to come in fucking handy. What do you think we're going to do? What, do you think we're going to go through fucking chemo at 89, turning 90? You fucking dumb cunts. hey, guess what? We're reducing your pain medicine and you can already barely get out of bed. But we've got a surprise. You've also got lung cancer. I know. What are the fucking chances? Anyway, we'll see you in a couple of weeks to rip one of your fucking lungs out. Sound like fun? You fucking stupid cunts. Shouldn't that be illegal to tell someone that old that you've got fucking cancer? Just shut the fuck up and just let it run its course, for fuck's sake. And then here's the cherry on top. Not only do you have lung cancer, Mrs. Stefania Boyle, you've won the lotto today because you've also got Alzheimer's. I know. So, it doesn't matter that we told you about the lung cancer because you're going to fucking forget. These fucking moron fucking doctors. Why would you fucking tell anyone? Why would you say anything? Just say, sorry, your back's fucked. Head back home. Enjoy some fucking Marlboro Lights. Get as many as you can in because there's not going to be many more. Fucking enjoy those cigarettes. Even me now, I don't want to find out if there's something wrong with me. I'm fucking terrified of going to the doctor just in case there's something wrong with me. I know there's something wrong with me. There's definitely something wrong with me. But I'm just going to ignore it like that fucking clicking in the car that you start hearing and never go to the mechanics because you know it's not good and it's going to cost a lot of money to fix. A couple of Christmases ago, I was in New Zealand and I was sitting up. This is when I was drinking. I was hammered and I was making my grandma laugh and we were all having a joke around. She was sitting up with us having a drink and a cigarette and she could barely move because of her back, and I was telling her about the time I got a sore neck from lying on the couch too much and I had to walk to hospital because the pain was so much. But on my walk to hospital, whatever was wrong with my neck, like a slip disc or something, it slipped back in. And just before I got to the hospital, I was fine. And I just walked back. So it was actually just from sitting on the couch too much. It was from inactivity. My grandma had a laugh because she knew it was a joke. And then she looked me in the eye and she's like, David, you don't know what suffering is. And I'm like, no, I don't, Nanna. And I'm not fucking interested in finding out. Don't worry about the fucking lung cancer. Just keep smoking. And hopefully the good Lord has some mercy and will take one of his angels back before the pain gets too fucking unbearable. Alright, see you later.